And welcome back, everybody, to Gears Pro League Split 2, day number 6. I'm Taylor Reflections, though, joined by Guy Blaze. We're heading into our third and final series. As I said, NA versus NA. We got eUnited versus the Pioneers, brother. This one, I think, determines who gets first place, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, hey, this makes it that much of a better matchup. You know, Rebel helped out the standings and gave PK that loss in a previous series. And now here comes eUnited and Pioneers looking to take over that top spot. Not just in NA, but in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And correct me if I'm wrong, production, but I do believe whoever wins this will be in first place. I know for sure for eUnited. Because of their record. They're already in second place behind that of PK, but I'm getting confirmation it is a yes. So whoever wins this will be in first place.
Bet.
This is a big matchup. So for Pittsburgh Knights, well, the best they could be looking at is a second place at the moment because, well, they ended up losing to Rebels. Like you said, Blaze, Rebel ended up helping the standings as a whole, but this is going to be a great one.
This is going to be a great one. Pioneers, you know, as they come up into this series, looking at them play over these last few weeks, it was looking like they haven't dropped a beat for the most part, haven't missed a step. You know, now they did get a chance. I want to say they played eUnited in E-Days, didn't they?
They did in semifinals of last week, and they lost in map number 5. It was a very close series, but eUnited went on to actually beat Pittsburgh Knights in grand finals and get their first victory in E-Day Split 2.
Yep. All right, bet. And so, but to come back over here towards this Pioneers roster, consisting of Bronny, Xysho, Acells, and Hndles. You know, you got the core 3 on the right side of your screen. Bronny coming back to the team, and he was with them when Gears was 5v5. And, you know, you could see that this season because they haven't lost chemistry whatsoever. Right. So Bronny's a great fit for this squad, and they know how important this matchup is. They know how important it is to kill the confidence of eUnited now. Right. Don't want eUnited to come into the Pro League, get a win off of them, and then take that energy on over towards the next E-Days or the major and whatever and whatnot. They don't want that to happen. Now, as of late, I think this eUnited roster, they've been getting better week in and week out, and they're starting to come into full form.
Yes.
I know that their ceiling is higher than what it is, but currently where they are now, they can put this Pioneers roster, they can put some pressure on them. Okay, they can get this win if they do it right, if they outsmart them, and we'll see if they can do that tonight.
And they're already putting the pressure on Pioneers. You know, again, E-Days just last Thursday, they ended up beating the Pioneers. And make no mistake about it, that series was a bloodbath. You know, Pioneers wanted to win that. Both teams were going hard as if it was a major, as if it was a Pro League matchup. There was definitely some bad blood between those two, and it's super competitive. Let's talk about eUnited. It takes 2 to tango, and Pioneers are going to be opposite of EU. We got Powerz, TJ, Demise, and Dyslexic. Dyslexic looking fresh as ever, Blaze, but also not only in the picture, but stats-wise, this guy has really came into his own. We kind of questioned with Kenny's departure being that IGL and just the value of experience that he had in general. How would Dyslexic stack up? Well, Dyslexic didn't come in to be the IGL, but he came in to be Dyslexic, and this roster is more aggressive than they've ever been, and it definitely works in the new meta that we have.
Yeah, no, it does work in this new meta, okay? You know, and they need that aggression. Last season, Kenny was a great part of this team, and honestly, Kenny was the main slayer in most parts, okay? But Dyslexic, he brings a certain type of speed with the rest of the players, and when they're playing on point, it's hard to outplay these guys because they're always a step ahead, and they're always shooting for each other. So we'll see if we get that fast version of eUnited tonight, and I think that's what they're going to need to really take down this Pioneers team.
Absolutely going to need that, man, because Pioneers, when they're on point and they're firing on all cylinders, they're very difficult to beat, even with Bronny being the new addition to the roster. But I do question, are Pioneers hitting the shots they need to? And after the past couple of weeks, I've been seeing them look a bit lackluster at times, which is surprising. More about that in just a bit, though. More about that in just a bit. But we have 2 players that could be considered some of the best in the world when it comes to slaying capabilities. Let's talk about them. It's Powerz and Acells. These guys are both incredible.
Yeah, both incredible indeed. Look at Powerz stats. KDA in the top 5, damage per 10 minutes, 1,200. And then when it comes down to the kill participation, you got 2nd in the league for Powerz, 4th in the league for Acells.
Right.
And both these players doing a great job for their team. I will say Acells numbers at the top, A little surprising, but honestly, not too much. When you have a team like the Pioneers and the amount of players in which they have, not everyone can get the kills in which they need. I'm pretty sure, even though he's 13th and 15th, the kills in which he get, they are very impactful. We know Mr. Double Kill, okay?
Yep.
He's the walking two-piece at all times. But on the other side, Powerz is putting out that damage in which he's known for, and that's what he needs to do so the rest of his teammates can play off him. He needs to be the focus of attention. When Powerz goes into series, every team's game plan needs to be, all right, step number one, let's focus Powerz. Call him out when you see him. Shut him down.
Right.
And so when he's playing at that level, it creates openings for TJ and Dyslexic and Demise.
Yeah, excellent point. And the same thing could be said for Acells, given the fact that he's picking up 31% of the actual team kill percentage for the rest of his roster. So he's getting the bulk of the points or bulk of the kills, more than 1/4 of anybody else. So that is really incredible for both of these guys. But again, we kind of question, who's the best in the world. Powerz, obviously, Slaying Department would have to be considered the best. But Acells is right there neck and neck with them. And that makes for an interesting dynamic heading into the series, especially when they clash on the battlefield. And speaking of clashing, Blaze, let's take a look at the maps we're going to be rolling with and really have more of a discussion. And Ritual being map number 4. That was the one I was super interested in. In terms of familiar maps, Ritual stands out to me. eUnited played Pioneers on Ritual during E-Days and beat them 300 to 135. Now, mind you, that was in semifinals. Quarters was already done. You expected Pioneers to be warmed up, so it wasn't because neither team was warmed up. eUnited just played that map so incredibly well. When it comes to PK and eUnited, those two teams are the best right now we have on Ritual.
Yeah, they are. And so, especially when it comes down to, I was looking at Regency control there towards the front end. I think both of these squads got their best control map, okay? And so they're good on that accord. You're going over towards that Vasgar escalation, and I think that can go either way. I like the Pioneers on that map. The Ephyra execution, it's been a while since I got a chance to cast this map.
Oh, man.
And so eUnited got it back in the rotation, got it early,
Yes.
so this is going to be excited to see this one. And this is a nice cycle. It's different. And so we'll see what these squads can do.
So Ephyra was excellent to watch on E-Days last Thursday. It came down to around 11. It was incredible how it ended. It was one of the best performances and best matchups I've seen on Ephyra to date. And that was during an E-Days, and that was between these two great teams that are about to compete. The fact that it's map number 2 is pretty good because you mentioned Pioneers. They do get their best map for control, which is going to be on Regency, so a strong opening start. And with how close that Ephyra execution was, even though eUnited ended up taking it, we could see Pioneers easily taking it as well. Came down to one round, and it came down to a couple of critical plays. This is going to be a tight and close series. My only question mark is going to be Checkout. I have no idea who's going to be favored on Checkout.
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
If I got to go favor Checkout, I favor eUnited game 5. I favor eUnited game 5, 100%. Powerz, Powerz on that platform, Powerz and Dyslexic over there. That's what I go for.
This is an interesting one for me. It's speaking of interesting, let's get into our predictions because this was a tough one. Out of all the ones to choose from outside of Team Queso F and I think that was relatively even. And the same thing for Pittsburgh Knights and Rebel. Rebel, they get the victory. It doesn't surprise me in any way because they're an incredible team. But this one was hard. Now, I said Pioneers have been struggling. Now, I say struggling very loosely. Pioneers is a championship caliber team. But so is Pittsburgh Knights. So are Rebel. So is eUnited. The point is, Pioneers, unlike now with Bronny as it had with Precision, there was no touching KCP. Going into the major, there was no question who was going to win it. We already knew KCP was going to win it. They were that much of a heavy favorite. But now that gap has lessened tremendously. And KCP may be a championship caliber team, but so are 3 others. So now it's a lot more even than it once was, and they have competition. So for this series, based on what I've seen not only in E-Days, but just in general, I'm going with eUnited. I think eUnited is more consistent, and they're hitting their shots when it matters most. Pioneers are an incredible team who could win the series tonight, but I've been seeing missed shots from Hndles. I've been seeing miss snipe from Xysho, okay? I'm not seeing the best come out from them, and Bronny, as incredible as he is and how well he's fitting in with this roster, Blaze, I still don't think KCP has figured out that winning formula that they had with Precision And I think eUnited is going to be able to beat them tonight, even though I think this is going to go down to the wire, neck and neck like it was on Thursday E-Days. What do you think, Blaze?
Woo, okay, all right. You got eUnited on the board. And so for me, I'm feeling like when it comes down to big matchups like this, that KCP come out on top more times than not. I still got a lot of faith in the core three of this squad. When it comes down to the duo of Acells and Xysho and them running around the map together and Hndles playing off on his island, and especially with Bronny joining Acells and Xysho there making it a trio, I like the team composition there. And I do think eUnited needs some more time to hit that top ceiling. But eUnited, they beat them the last time around when they played.
Yeah.
I feel like tonight the Pioneers are going to come out on top in this series. But I got to tell you, Taylor, as I sit here and I say that, I am questioning to swap my pick right now to eUnited. I am.
So I talked too much. I talked it up too much.
And I'm going to sit here on it, okay? I am. I'm going to sit here on it because tonight eUnited may be ready to do it again. But I'm going to stick with the Pioneers.
So you are sticking with Pioneers.
I'm going to stick with the Pioneers.
Production says you can change it if you want.
They said I could change it, but eUnited, if they show me that they could beat the Pioneers twice in a shorter period of time, then the next time I'm going for it.
Well, there won't be a next time in Pro League anyways, right? For your
It'd
prediction.
be the major.
It'd be the major where it really matters. So
or it could be another E-Days.
Did you ever... Franditude, what do you see? Sometimes I get wrapped up in chat, and I saw Franditude ask me just the most off-the-wall question that I don't even know. I mean, anyways, chat, who are you going with? Franditude, you're wild. Like, what? Chat.
You don't see you casting?
You go on Pioneers, you go on eUnited. Okay, so both eUnited.
Chat.
But you know what? eUnited's been gaining that fan base back. They already had it, but now they're starting to become the favorites because of their performances. They're going into this matchup already in second place behind that of Pittsburgh Knights. Again, both teams can technically get first place, I think, anyways. And I got confirmation, but we'll still see. For eUnited, 100% they get first place if they win this. It comes down, does Pioneers have enough map win percentage? I don't know. But regardless, though,
they 3-0 them, maybe.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they 3-0. But this is going to be a big one. I mean, Battle of the Titans, absolutely. I just need to see more from Hndles and Xysho. And I hate to even question them because they're champions. And again, KCP is a championship caliber roster, but I haven't seen enough from them recently for me to be, favoring them in this series. Regardless, though, it's game day, and it's Pro League, baby. And I know E-Days or not, Pro League or not, Scrim or not, we are going to see the best of the best come out in this series right now.
All right, here we go. Our last series of the night, eUnited versus the Pioneers. And First Blood goes on over towards this Lexic. Him and Bronny trade out. And that could be a testament to how even this matchup's going to be throughout the entirety of it. We may even go to distance. I know you guys will let it at home to go to another map number 5. But currently, it is the Pioneers winning that open initial. And Taylor, they're going to get themselves set up. eUnited trying to win some battles here towards the outskirts and get Powerz out with this power weapon into a better position.
And power weapon in Powerz hands is a deadly, deadly sight and something that Pioneers have to take very seriously. I do like that eUnited has established themselves for the new hill. So first hill we know is just a playmaker more so for the setup from the second. They're willing to give up a deficit, and that deficit is pretty large. You know, when you're giving up 40 points and you don't have any off the rip. But you can tell eUnited is playing the long game, right? They're more focused on the future, and I do like that from eUnited. It's a little bit different from what I saw during the E-Days matchup, but I expected it to be that way.
Right there!
Now, as you see, Pioneers on their assault trying to push back to the eUnited members. We're seeing it from eUnited's defensive perspective as the Pioneers coming up these back stairs. Some good shots to start. A quick down, but also an even quicker revive coming out for the Pioneers, and they're gonna reposition, spread out a bit more. They know they got they had a good amount of time to work with the clock on the previous hill, and also they got a nice size lead, so they didn't have to rush themselves, get in a position. They can treat this like a execution retake. So they're gonna start this fight on their terms. Powerz is gonna have to hit some shots here soon.
Yeah.
Pioneers, they don't got much else to talk about rather than, who ready to make that first move, and they're going to start it.
Well, that first move is going to be made. Powerz still revving it up. He's only sent, I believe, 2 shots flying so far. There's going to be a third. Powerz is going to get the pick up onto TJ. Pioneers at least keeping the hill contested, so that's good on them. And, eUnited, in my opinion, is going to continue to get more and more restless because they're now getting pincered in. They're getting attacked from all angles. The Pioneers was keeping the hill contested, and eUnited has to move out. They've got to clear out the guys just lancering nonstop from the window. You have no choice. Pioneers has played this second hill in a great fashion. Not necessarily from trying to retake it quickly, but just honestly just kind of outslaying or outstaying that of eUnited. But Dyslexic almost makes a heroic move. It's not going to be enough, though. He'll get finished off. Either way, for second and first hill, Pioneers looking great.
Great retake from the Pioneers, everybody, okay? That was how they broke the setup was good coming from the Fountain side. And Taylor, you hear me always say that the best defenses are breathable. And also with the best defenses is that even though you're in position to cover all angles, there's a certain point where your game knowledge comes in and you know when your opponent's about to make the push and you still get the first shot off, right? Like a good defense still doesn't take the first shot. They got that pre-fire ready to put in that damage and make the retake that much harder. And that's something that eUnited needed on that last one. And that's what allowed the Pioneers to get through with so much ease. And as we're rotating towards the next, Bronny with a big double on screen, that's going to allow his teammates to continue to push through and take the spawn. Powerz can't go big, and TJ still has the spawn locked down, but he also got 3 Pioneers charging for him. That's a great stun. He don't do nothing with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He doesn't do anything with it. He kind of still pins himself up. Same situation, stun or not. Tough break for him, and you got to capitalize off of that. KCP, we knew coming into this series that this map was going to favor them. But man, I didn't expect it to be as one-sided as it is off of the first 3 hills. Pioneers are looking scary. They're playing together as a cohesive unit. eUnited are trying, at times, you even look at that first, after the first hill going into the second, eUnited was trying to outpace in terms of setting up early the Pioneers, but still, their plan got thrown to the wayside because Pioneers did a wonderful job breaking that second hill. And then you even look at this third hill. eUnited is constantly trying to bully and outslay the side of Pioneers. But Pioneers aren't necessarily giving them that fight that they want. They're creating that spacing and that distance, and that's something that has been lacking, Blaze, from KCP as of recently. That team fire that made them so great.
Oh my!
But man, yeah, Bronny just about made a play there.
And the thing is that the Pioneers they're eUnited. They're giving eUnited, I guess, some fights that I want to say they maybe are not expecting. Pioneers are meeting eUnited at every objective on the map to say, hey, you're gonna have to fight us at this point. We're not giving you anything for free. And that's why they got so much time off this gold hill down low, as well as the entire time they've been fighting for M-Bar and core control. That's a team wipe on the board, and the Pioneers got this locked down as they're once again getting a bunch of time. So they're identifying a spawn. They'll give eUnited a lot of space this time around and say, okay, you guys, got the couches spawn and you guys are pressing up right now. We'll back up and let you move into this hill because we know you still got to try to retake, but we're going to make it harder for you. You're going to have to do it a man down.
Pioneers are playing so well as a team. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're getting the trades when it matters most. They're pushing as cohesive units. They're getting their Lancer fire and their snub damage done. Support roles are really shining through. Pioneers are just playing better. Quite simply, that's just what it boils down to. Again, eUnited, they're banking on their slaying power, but that's their new DNA as of now with TJ, Powerz, Dyslexic, and Demise. They want to outslay you and get in your face, and it works. But when Pioneers ups to teamwork, things get a little bit shaky for the eUnited crew. But hey, this is one of the first and most successful hills that they've currently had, and that's saying something since they're only at 40 points plays, but you got to start somewhere. Let's see if eUnited can make this competitive.
Now they're picking up on the rest of that scrap time. We're looking for this fountain rotation. It's the Pioneers who already are going to be closest towards the spawn. Hndles just dodges this rotation coming out from Dyslexic. Well, almost dead. Dyslexic picks up one. Almost got the second. He's looking for some help from his teammate on the cleanup. Acells almost came away with a double kill. Actually, I was going to say a down came in towards the back of the spawn, but Acells finally gets cleaned up, and ultimately eUnited will get the kills in which they want to start collecting on some time at Fountain. It's Acells with only 2 deaths towards his name. We just saw the second one, so he's been playing great for his team off at the start of this one.
And we talked about it, Acells versus Powerz. Powerz edged him out when it came to pretty much all the stats. I think all the stats actually was able to edge him out, but when Pioneers is firing as a cohesive unit, Acells is able to flex his slaying muscles a little bit more, and that I think we're seeing a little bit more of that. Powerz is good for what he is, but he needs the rest of his teammates to also do their part and do their job. But eUnited has come back quite a bit, Blaze, and they're making this competitive. You know, Pioneers with that early lead, it might come to the point where obviously eUnited is right neck and neck with them. And this is the thing about Pioneers too. Map 1, as of recently, hasn't got to the way of KCP, brother. They always start off slow.
Yeah, and so if they start off hot tonight, you can definitely know that they're ready to come out and play some game.
Right.
And they've done that. If they've done that, I don't see them blowing this lead. If they do blow this lead, then eUnited, man, I think they're going to take that momentum in maps 2 and 3 like they did the other day. So we'll see what happens. But in this last team fight, it's the Pioneers winning it once again and collecting on the rest of that time. We're in a rotation towards next to couches where you'll have Bronny set up first. You got some good damage in on Powerz. He can get this down. Oh my, he almost did it, you know, but we don't give half credit out here. You see the revive coming towards the back. The M-bar will be in position. Hndles can get that cleanup, no problem, and he gets a revive for his teammate.
He goes back though, and we see a lot of great damage coming out from the Pioneers, but even so, team pickups are in. Pioneers are attacking the right side. This is the side you want to hit because you want to get eUnited off of the respawns, which I think they've already effectively done, just given where they're currently at. eUnited, once they die off, they're not going to get favorable respawns in their favor, but eUnited's holding their ground, Blaze. But for how long? Powerz is going to drop. Demise now is forced to back up. Pioneers inching closer and closer to the new hill.
Ultimately, eUnited found themselves in a great position where they had their opponent trapped in the spine, and they enjoyed it. They said, you guys can stay there, actually, okay? We'll continue to collect on time. Pioneers having them break out. They find a way towards the back to get in, and they're starting to get these kills. They do a great job at focusing the same target. Their focus fire, because eUnited was set up before them, and they actually had spacing on the Pioneers, and they still lose that fight.
It's interesting because Bronny, he spawns up around Statue, and then he ends up moving forward. And it's almost like Pioneers got tunnel vision on Bronny. But what's so funny about that is Bronny still won the majority of the fights, even though eUnited was tunnel vision, and you had Hndles coming from the flank. So that was just one of those moments where it was like eUnited, again, focused so hard on Bronny, but meanwhile, Hndles is on your back, and he's just constantly lancering you down. It was just a tough way, and I think Bronny getting that spawn really discombobulated eUnited in that moment. Pioneers, they aren't looking to back down to 16-118. They've got a great lead, over 100 or just about 100 points. I would say 98, but either way though, back to the original start. eUnited, remember off the start, didn't even try for this Rose Gun.
There you go.
Yeah, they didn't. They played the outskirts of the map, and this time eUnited comes in with the power weapons a bit quicker to have an impact. That's 3 down, and eUnited collecting on time, so a better start this time around, Taylor. Now, the Pioneers, they will have the cog spawn in the map, which gives them the best position for the next heal, but it's a lot of time on this one. 52 points remaining, and that M-bar is so far out of play. Powerz going to have to rotate that towards the fight and have an impact soon. Pioneers haven't made it into the heal just yet, and Powerz should be okay. He hits a body shot, calls it out to his teammate. It's another body shot. And the Pioneers, they're going to be going back to the respawn soon.
The eUnited soaring back, Blaze. You're the master of calls when it comes for comebacks. Is eUnited in that point where you're like, they might be coming back?
Yeah, you know, it's just, you could tell when the players are playing with a little bit more spice. And so, you know, eUnited, once they kind of got settled into this map and they won a few big team fights and got set up early, they started to feel themselves, started to come back, and they understand that it's a slow climb. So they're doing a good job, but they did put themselves into a hole, and they're going to have to keep playing at this pace if they want to make this comeback. If not, just a bit faster. Look, we got a little bit of scrap time at that last heal. Nades are coming up in M-bar. eUnited should get both.
Yep, we should get both indeed. Well, player 7 Xysho has done there for the nades. I think he might get those, but Powerz needs to hit these shots. That's a good body, but it's not enough. You got to get the finish on some. Hndles is actually going to be dropped. That M-bar made all the difference in the world. Pioneers, though, still on the outskirts. You got to get them out of the way. You just have to eliminate them. Plus, they have decent spawns, so the refresh is going to be very quick. First nade comes through. Xysho connects onto Demise. Nice shot from Powerz onto Acells. Doubles back onto Hndles, but misses the shot. Nasher in play. Hndles forced on the outside, though. Xysho can't go to LA. He's going to get it. He is going to go get it. Powerz still Nasher in hand, forcing the Pioneers back, but as he gets finished off, Pioneers surely get this hill.
Hndles made it a smart play, getting close to his teammate on that mantle to get to him for that down. Xysho almost didn't hear the call out, but luckily he did, because after that revive, him and Hndles was able to lock in his heal, and there's 40 points remaining into it. And this is where it gets difficult for eUnited, because sometimes you find yourself in a position where, you know, you can wait for your teammates for so long, but then you gotta go. You gotta get a foot in the hill, break it, and contest with what you got. Acells with a cutoff flash slows down the push for a bit, but shots still being hit for eUnited, and Hndles showing us the movement, showing us what he can do with the shot. He puts himself in a corner, tries to get the health regen, but Powerz on the flank will find too, and he gets a pistol headshot. Man, that's very nostalgic for me. It's going to be eUnited rotating towards next, where the Pioneers are already going to be set up.
Already set up. And Demise, no, you got to get him up. You have to get him up if you're player one. And the reason why, he has the shock. Oh, he's going to get finished off. Shock is going to go to waste. That shock would have been absolutely influential in breaking the hill. Pioneers, though, understood the position they were in. They caught Demise, caught out by himself, and they end up taking him down. That was an excellent play call on their part. But look at the spawns from eUnited. Literally perfect for their ability to be able to push through. But time is running thin for eUnited. Pioneers are on the cusp of winning.
You see what I'm talking about, about an aggressive defense? You know, Hndles, he's meeting them at the fight. He understands where they're moving. He understands where they're trying to go. He's beating them there, hitting some big shots, picking eUnited apart.
281 and counting to 186. eUnited, they're on their last leg, guys. At this point, they have to play perfect, even if they keep this game alive. Looks like they're going to be on the outside looking in, unfortunately. I think for eUnited fans, well, you're going to have to suffer an early map one loss. 292 now, but eUnited not going down without a fight. They do get a touch, but is it going to be short-sighted? Well, through the smoke, there are going to be a couple of marks, and Bronny's going to get the cleanups, 4 out of the way, and 300 to 188 is where this match will end, and Pioneers will take map number 1.
Pioneers, they get it done with their teamwork, and they showed at the start of that one that, hey, we want to come out and we're gonna beat you hill after hill, fight after fight, and not get ahead of themselves. And that's exactly what they did. eUnited started off slow, but towards the mid game and late game, they played a lot better.
Yeah,
they had to, but Acells was popping off. You saw him. It was
absolutely popping off.
It was about 150 to 30. He only had 2 deaths. He had a great start. He set the tone for this matchup for the Pioneers, and they ran away with it.
Ran away with it indeed, man. Again, Pioneers was just playing better as a team. They really were. eUnited were wanting to get in KCP's face and slay them out, but they weren't getting that opportunity. When eUnited was able to close the gap, get in those CQC fights, there was already a ton of damage outputted from the members of Pioneers. And then once eUnited did get close, Pioneers was able to get the cleanups or the downs. That's the focus fire. That's what we needed from KCP in the earlier weeks. This is the KCP that can be incredibly scary and could, in fact, win a championship. What I saw in E-Days, not necessarily. I am liking what I'm seeing. KCP wins their map that, honestly, we favored them on, and they won it in a pretty dominant fashion. 300 to 188, I would consider dominant with what I saw from these 2 caliber teams on E-Days.
Now, as we head into map number 2 soon as well, like you say, KCP, they keep their map. But we're heading on over towards the Ephyra execution. It's the map in which eUnited picked. So I'm expecting them to, you know, come out with some tricks and really be dominant at, you know, throwing a curveball over here towards the Pioneers. I haven't watched them play in a while, so this is going to be exciting. But they have to respond quickly. That's most important for eUnited. They can't find themselves down 2-0 against the Pioneers. That is a difficult hole to climb out of.
It is. But the good thing they have, they're heading into Ephyra execution, and that's a map that they have favored since the beginning of its release. Even when we were doing playtest in E-Days, eUnited enjoyed Ephyra, and they always found success on Ephyra. But again, you look at the E-Days performance, it went to around 11, and it was one of the most electrifying Ephyra executions I have seen to date, and we could replicate that and see the same thing going into map number 2. For KCP, though, it's not out of the woods just yet. If they can win that Ephyra, which is definitely possible, taking that to a lead, as you said, could get scary. Now, Vasgar Escalation, just to touch on that, Blaze, I haven't been impressed with KCP on Vasgar as of recently. I just simply haven't. eUnited, I think, should have the leg up there. So for EU, if they win map 2, I could see them taking a 2-1 lead over KCP.
All right, yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening indeed. The player who I'm gonna be focused on this map is probably gonna be TJ, because the last time I saw him play Ephyra, I think Raver took him on a date. All right, and so I want to see him go there towards the hotel and play that mid map, and you know, have a great performance, because that was very. I think that may have been the last time I casted Ephyra, as I'm thinking back on it, because that's the main play that I remember happening. It was Raver dominating that hotel. So we'll see what happens going into this one. But eUnited, it's very, very important that they get this one tied up 1-1.
So where eUnited almost let that map number 5 on last Thursday E-Day slip against KCP was Bronny. Bronny was not holding his ground in hotel a lot of the times. Okay. And that puts Powerz in an interesting and awkward position. Mind you, Powerz is fighting for the torque bow, right? He's the one fighting down low on the right side, fighting by himself consistently. If Bronny doesn't win the hotel fight, that player who wins the hotel fight against Bronny is just going to double back, go straight down there and put Powerz in a 2v1. Not a good spot for him to be in. So I need Bronny to really step it up and hold his ground. And I think, if I'm not wrong, it's Demise who's on the outside helping him, or it could be Xysho, or excuse me, I'm out of my mind, not Xysho, excuse me, Dyslexic. But either way, Bronny needs help. So I think it's Demise who's going to be helping him. There's no issue with, you know, making a 2v2 in hotel or a 2v1 in hotel. Use the odds in your favor. That's something Monkeys did on Pittsburgh Knights so well, and that's how he really changed Ephyra in the way he was played in that hotel fight. He started assisting Raver, who at the time was having a very difficult time in hotel. Yeah. So point is, Bronny needs help.
All right, well, we're going to see if he's going to get it, okay? But I will say this, that if Bronny can hold off in 1v2s and extend his life some way, somehow, Hndles, Acells, and Xysho, they take their numbers, all right? They will take their numbers. So sometimes Bronny just got to stay alive if he's the center of attention and just be evasive. And if he does that, help will come, okay? His teammates going to be doing something on the other side of the map. They find openings. So we'll see how he chooses to do that. If he gets some early help, or he just needs to stay alive until his team can get the numbers, and then he gets a chance to go on offensive.
You build it, they will come. If you're evasive enough, they will come. Like, so either way, it works out. Fill the dreams or Gears Ephyra, right? It's just, hey, I guess it's inevitable. Hey, you know, I'm curious how this plays out. I really am. I mean, I got to ask you this. The teamwork from Pioneers on Regency, which has been lacking a little bit from KCP and you know, obviously matches past, benefited them greatly on Regency. Can you utilize a lot of that team fire and teamwork on Ephyra as much as you could on other maps, such as Checkout and so on and so forth?
Yeah, you most definitely can. You know, and I think a lot of squads still got a lot of discovery on the map to work with some strategy. But because of that middle hop over, you can design some strats, because it's a lot of sight lines that can be blocked at certain parts of the round. So you can have a lot of strats designed to focus on picking up a lot of those kills in the middle. And we started to see too as well on the map, the drop shot get utilized less, especially with that torque bow get in place.
Right. Yeah. That's true. It has been. It's interesting. I think in this matchup, though, you're going to see the best of both worlds. Powerz may consistently get torque bow, but there's going to be someone on eUnited, or excuse me, on KCP, who's going to consistently get the drop shot. And then you're going to have these moments, at least from last Thursday, from what I remember, where it's drop shot versus torque bow, and you see just amazing plays. Again, it's going to be incredible. I put a lot of emphasis, though, on that Powerz side. That side was popping off, man. That side was just incredible.
All right, here we go. Map number 2, Pioneers versus eUnited. Dyslexic versus Bronny. Acells is going to be there to help. Bronny straight down low to get the flank on Powerz. They'll make quick work of him. Man advantage in favor of the Pioneers. Taylor, they're going to be able to get the power weapons as well. Xysho trades off on a kill. Dyslexic able to pick up one and makes this a 2v2.
Nice job from Bronny. Seeing Dyslexic taking them down. 2v1 Demise. Last alive from eUnited. Surprise. It's not alive for much longer. He's going to get caught up. Bronny, well done. Excellent round coming out from the side of KCP early on. That was a pretty powerful start, I can't lie.
Yeah, no, that was a great one for him. You know, Bronny right away, he said, you know what? I know what I need to do. And he focused on his play, and I was helping his teammate at the bow. Once he did that, he started looking for whatever kill and playing flex, and he found him. Listened to his teammates' call-outs, cleaned them up.
All right, round number 2. Bronny once again on your screen, opposite of Dyslexic. Bronny won this fight before. And mind you, Demise is also there to help out Dyslexic, but I love this audible. Go ahead and focus Hndles. Give him the help he needs. That is what Ephyra, at least that for me, that's what makes it beautiful, Blaze, is the ability to be creative with your pushes and isolate certain players. Because whether it's for drop shot, whether it's in a hotel, or for the torque bow, there is an opportunity to put yourself in a 2v1 more often than not.
It truly is. You just have to be proactive in finding it. And on this map too as well, with you having, you know, 2 drop shots to be picked up, it's a big weapon to have. And you're seeing that the Pioneers is going to be focusing on that probably most of the map with eUnited, making sure they can get that bow. Now, let's say, for example, where can the Pioneers isolate themselves a 2v1? You know, you definitely got player 5 there, Dyslexic, who's on the flank, but he's actually probably going to be one of the hardest targets to pick up in this fight. You want to get someone here towards mid-map. Like, if you could 3-man push towards those players that's in a garage, and as you're pushing them, you know that they're backing up. That's when you cut back and you catch a player who's trying to chase you or regroup with his team. You catch one of them in transitions to get your numbers, but just keep rotating the map until you can find your numbers to get that advantage back in your favor.
Interesting. And like I said, drop shot, torque bow, you're going to consistently see this battle more often than not. It's KCP in this matchup who's going to be getting the drop shot. And then same thing could be said for eUnited, except Powerz is consistently going to get torque bow. What a shot. What a shot. Wow. And that's what makes him scary on this map, is his ability to utilize the torque bow just like that. But not out of the woods just yet. Xysho gets a nice shot of the Powerz. Torque bow gone. But Acells is last alive now. And it's now it's going to be a 1v3. Now a 1v9. eUnited, great job. And Powerz, the guy who really controlled that round.
Man, that was a great bow shot. Coming from the inside of, I think that was the inside of hotel towards the inside.
Yep.
Yeah. So good job to them. I think we're going to see a similar kind of breakout going into this next round. Both squads trading out their respective power weapons and playing it slow. We'll see as the Pioneers, they are sitting 2 in hotel. They're actually going to play for bow this round.
Yeah, well, they did this last time. Remember, Hndles got isolated in a 2v1, and I think Bronny wants to go ahead and avoid that. If they can, they need to give Hndles some help. Xysho is going to get the drop shot for free. TJForce in. He doesn't know Acells is there. Yeah, he's dead here in the moment. But Demise goes. Whoa! Demise goes for the pickup. He'll lose his life in return. Regardless, though, it's a 2v2. And once again, you got Powerz with the torque bow and Xysho would drop.
And that's great comms coming out of Xysho and letting his team know that, hey, they're going inside the push. They had their focus on one guy because technically all they're trying to do is get 1 kill in there. They know Xysho has 2 drop shots. It just comes down to playing defense, and once you know your opponent is trying to rush you and push you, it just makes it that much easier. But we're currently seeing 2 separate 1v1s on the map, and Bronny is really getting pressed. Like, who is that? It's Dyslexic breathing down his neck, trying to give him a hug. Look at him, just breathing down his neck with that Lancer. Bronny can't do a damn thing, but almost saved that splash damage. He has to use this drop, and he's going to get the kill and save Bronny. So luckily for him, his team captain will save the day. Bronny taps up, and it's going to be Powerz knowing that he has to make a move quickly. But Bronny will already be up Taylor, and his Powerz in a 1v2 with 3 bows.
Contact here.
Over with. Oh, dude, there was so much opportunity for Bronny to get shot there. So much, and now Powerz is dead. 100%. Tough spot to be in, not a lot of coverage. And that played out in such a good way for KCP because at the start, I'm thinking to myself, man, eUnited's in a great position here. But you mentioned some great call-outs from Xysho. Acells obviously getting the trade with 1. Demise made a great play to his own credit for eUnited, but excellent round coming out from the side of KCP. Take a 2-1 lead. This is looking a lot like it was on E-Days last week.
Yes, it is. And so we'll see how it continue to play out. Now, Bronny back inside the hotel. Mirror matchup 1-2-1 with both the squads. 1v1s with the power weapons and a 2v2 inside. We'll see who wants to make a move first to help their teammates, but Powerz don't need no help. And his 1v1, he's able to get the bow. So at this point, eUnited knows that Pioneers will try to make a move at somewhere on the other side of the map, Taylor, because if not, then you could easily rotate this bow over towards a drop shot and have both power weapons. So you know the play is coming. There's Acells on a rotation. Demise with it down on Xysho and KCP in a difficult spot, but still it's a 4v4.
4v4, Powerz back into play, trying to get some distance. Hndles will deviate a little bit away. Xysho's going to die here in the... Oh, no, that can't happen. Even so, eUnited still has the man advantage, 3v2. And Acells will be last alive. So team kill or not, seems like it was all really for nothing. Acells 1v3, a lot he can do there, and we will be tied up 2-2.
All right, all tied up 2-2. Man, and you know, it almost went bad there for a second. In that round, you know, with Powerz and them rotating back, like I said before, they knew at some point the Pioneers was going to end up playing for the drop shot. Okay, that they had to come out and contest for it, and they got back and they rotated there, but it almost got scary because the Pioneers crossed them out and hit them corner for a bit, but in the end, still close it out, and we're going to the next round.
All right, hotel fight underway. Acells going to be able to get the pickup on Bronny for the reset. Dyslexic, though, closing the gap. Acells forced to run away. Bronny dead. Nice shot from Dyslexic. And now you don't have to push Acells if you don't want to. Hndles down low, trying to hold his ground, but full red. Surely he dies, but he doesn't. What a shot of the Powerz. Still a 3v2. This 1v1 fight is really, really important, and Xysho actually wins it. And the reason why that's important, not only does it bring down to a 2v2, I thought Xysho would have more positioning on the drop shot, but he actually doesn't. So now Xysho's got to find a way to break away, but this torque bow could provide a big impact here. Hndles last alive. Great shot of Dyslexic. 1v1 against Demise.
Bow is rev. He goes top of the cover. That's an easy dodge for Demise. Top of the cover. Demise goes in. Comes back. Resets the fight. Demise. He's controlling this more than we think, but he is full red. But he'll reset. Hndles trying to go under. Crack. The top. The side. No splash damage. You got one to work with. Oh, he got a flash to work with as well. 30 seconds on the clock. Hndles. Got the utility.
I love this.
Now he doesn't want to get too lost in the sauce because Demise, he'll just straight line him. Demise working off his right hand. He's okay with this position. Got a little bit more room to work with. Oh my, he actually has that hill behind him.
Yep.
Hndles rotates Demise. He's gonna rush. Hits the sandbag, cuts back. He wants to fight. Over the cover. Flying fire. Over the cover. Demise with a great L trigger. He wins the round. That's how you get it done.
That was such just a cat and mouse fight, man. It was just nonstop dodging the torque bow. Demise, he played that very well, utilizing the coverage as he did. It's stressful when you go from a 2v1 to a 2 or just a straight up 1v1, especially when you take as much damage as you did. You're opposite of a torque bow. And this fight was just tense. I can't even imagine the pucker factor between those two, but Demise makes it happen, and that brings eUnited with a 1-0 lead. And once again, we're immediately back into the hotel fight, the 2v2. Hndles and Powerz once again going at it. Now, typically, this ends up in a bit of a stalemate until hotel fight is won, but they're popping off a lot earlier, and Powerz will be successful.
Yes, he will. He's going to have the bow in hand. So, man advantage for eUnited. The shot grenades were used for both of the squads. Drop shot still in play, but Powerz not connecting with that next bow. Xysho in a difficult 1v1. He's playing ring around the rosy with TJ, but he didn't get aggressive when he needed to, and he finds himself in a 1v2. eUnited get another round.
There it is. Like you said, get another round and that much closer to victory 4-2. Powerz winning that 1v against Hndles was impactful. Again, normally that's stalemated out until the hotel fight is won. So whether, you know, it's Bronny or Dyslexic or whoever ends up ahead, and then they can focus fire Hndles or Powerz, who ends up winning that hotel fight, whether it's KCP or eUnited. But I do like the fact that Powerz and Hndles did go head-to-head in kind of a gut check. I don't expect that to happen again in this round. I do expect Hndles to kind of pump the brakes a little bit and again wait for this hotel fight to kind of conclude. But Powerz has newfound confidence and he continues to push up. Let's focus on the 1v1 here. TJ and on the other side, opposite of player 2 of Hndles. This fight too tends to stalemate out, and that shock is important to connect. Seems like it goes to waste.
Nah, not too much of a waste because Xysho's getting positioned at the top of the key. And he's he's setting his TJ up to get crossed in the back. You see Acells comes and help to get the drop shot. But we also saw on the other end of the map, once again, Powerz taking over. So he gets the bow. 3v3 situation, both power weapons traded off. I think we just hit a shot grenade being picked up on one side of the map. Yeah, so both shot grenades acquired. Now, where is the play going to come through? You look at the mini map, the Pioneers, they're all set up towards the bottom half of the map, eUnited at the top half of the map. Our last centerline hill was inside the building. Well, actually, it may have been Bo, our last centerline hill. Okay, I think the Pioneers may have it off the top, but first shot going to get missed.
I see one.
Xysho hasn't had too many connections.
Xysho's getting pressed with the drop. That was a huge fight from Powerz. He took down the other power weapon. He isolated him.
And Powerz has just been on a tear of this map. He's feeling confident more so than ever, especially since he won the 1v against Hndles a couple of rounds ago. He pressed up on Hndles way more aggressively this round too. And again, Hndles didn't want that 1v1 to be done as soon as it was. And he had no choice either because the hotel fight was won from eUnited. So Overtime Hill is going to be here right in front. Powerz with the torque bow has a huge power play. And I believe eUnited is just going to send a player into the hill to start getting the capture. Great job connecting onto Acells, and there was nothing Bronny could do. eUnited will be on that point.
eUnited showing absolute dominance in that round, and Powerz has been a star. You know, and in that last round, he did a good job closing the distance between him and Xysho and recognizing that who he was playing up against. And he's just like, hey, guys, I'm about to, go take this fight. And with the range in which he was fighting a drop shot, it made it just doing shotty. Okay, you can't shoot a drop shot that close, so he did a good job taking him out the battle and continue to make plays. We'll see if he can win this battle against Hndles again.
Pioneers have to play flawless from this point forward if they want to take map number 2 and lead 2-0 in the series, but eUnited has been looking unstoppable, and Powerz has been doing such a good job against Hndles. TJ and Xysho once again fighting, and you notice in that hotel fight plays, nobody really initiating the fight. It's kind of been at a stalemate as well, and we're actually going to bring that stalemate down to Xysho and co, and that's a great audible, a fantastic audible to take down Xysho, get him out of the way, give the man advantage over towards eUnited. But eUnited still, though, has to be a little bit careful because if they continue to lose players like that, well, it could be evened up 2v2. It's now a 3v2.
And drop shot's going to be in the hands of TJ. So Dyslexic being sneaky, moves in, gets the kill that he needs. Up to Bronny to be the hero for the Pioneers fans, and he's got to make some big plays. This is going to be difficult. He stays alive, but cuts back in the fight, gets taken out. We're all tied up 1-1, Taylor.
Man, you're all tied up 1-1 in this series. 6-2 victory. Excellent work coming out from eUnited. And they do win in a less dramatic fashion than they did on that final map on E-Days. But you know what? They played it well enough, and that's why it makes sense overall as a whole. And I know they're very happy that they do tie the series 1-1. You can't allow KCP to get carried away, and eUnited doesn't allow that. Map number 3 is going to be Vasgar coming up after this. You don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to Gears Pro League Split 2, Day 6. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Guy Blaze. We're in our third and final series of the night, KCP versus eUnited. This determines who gets first place. Ephyra did not disappoint if you're an eUnited fan, but maybe KCP a bit lackluster. Blaze had a chance to kind of look at the stats a little bit. Dyslexic went 12-3. with 2 first bloods to his name. Why is that impactful? Dyslexic was more often than not fighting against Bronny inside the hotel fight, which would then catapult into the 2v1 with Powerz against Hndles. Powerz himself went 7-5, but he had 2 first bloods, which means typically he was the one pressuring up confidently against Hndles and getting the torque bow more often than not. And then TJ also had 2 first bloods, and who is he opposite of? Xysho. The point that I'm getting at is eUnited with 6 total first bloods were pushing fights more confidently than KCP was ready for.
And they also had a good mix too as well. They had impacts in several different areas of the map. Every area of the map, the bow lane, the mid lane, and the up top lane for the drop shot. So they threw the Pioneers for a loop, and they came in here with a perfect strategy. So kudos to eUnited. We're all tied up 1-1, but now we got to move on over towards this escalation on Vasgar, and this is really gonna let us know who ready to win this series.
Yeah, this Escalation Vasgar is going to be an interesting one for a multitude of standpoints. You know, I put eUnited as the favorite team going into this third map, which is funny because you go back to the old roster of KCP with Precision instead of Bronny. No one's beating them on Vasgar. But you look at them with Bronny now, and maybe it's coincidence, I don't know, but KCP doesn't do as well on Vasgar. It's either close round 9s or they just get destroyed 5-1, or, you know, I've seen from time. So this is going to be a tough map for the KCP squad.
Woo, all right, it's good. We'll see. Tough for Kansas City if they can get it done. The Pioneers find themselves, you know, being contested by eUnited, as we're all tied up 1-1, and also trying to get revenge because, as we know, the last time eUnited played up against them, they came out on top. They're looking to do it again in Pro League and looking to do it again either on another E-Days or during the majors. So eUnited, if they can beat the Pioneers on this escalation, I think that's going to give them a lot of confidence, and it's going to win them this series.
And something I do want to point out, actually, let me take a step back. eUnited has only played training grounds, not only in E-Days as of last week, but also in Pro League. So this is going to be the first time we've seen eUnited play on Vasgar Escalation in Pro League, which means KCP, even though they have had some struggles, they lost to Rise 1-5. They've also had 2 other victories, which came on the back of 5-4, 5-4. They still have that experience as of recent. But we'll find out. I said the same thing when Pittsburgh Knights was playing against Rebel, and Rebel obviously ended up winning that 5-3, so eUnited could very well win this. But great start for EU. That's going to be at least 2 members down.
Oh, that's it. That's the round.
And that's the round. That's it. 4 members down.
Yeah, that's a great start for them, winning both their 2v2 fights on each end of the map, and that's how you get yourself a 41-second round to really set the pace of map 3.
Well done. Well done indeed. Electrifying, super fast. Nobody with the kill on KCP as a whole. Tough break, not what you're accustomed to seeing, but one thing that I want to say about KCP once this series continues, or at least this map continues, Blaze, if we do see that team fire that we witnessed on Regency, this Vasgar can play a lot differently from eUnited, especially if they choose to close the gap like we just seen in round 1.
All right, here we go. Both squads making sure they can get those Botox, bring them to the fight, especially TJ trying to hold off this B hill in the 1v1. Got some good damage and it uses that flash to keep Bronny uncomfortable. The fact that Bronny even gets that kill is impressive. He takes one to the grave, does his job. That B hill gets capped. But at the top part of the map, you see Powerz got behind enemy lines and he's able to get a decap on Pioneer's home hill, and that's going to buy his teammates some time.
And Xysho's about to be pincered in. In fact, he's going to go in and die out Powerz, retreating back, getting some safety. He's actually going to double back with Dyslexic, but now you got a little bit of a pincer from KCP in the form of Hndles and Acells. But it looks like United's still making a break for it. This is about to be over with again.
Yeah, that's over. Yeah, that's the round. TJ won his 1v. eUnited, they continue to be able to play off that pressure that Powerz brought to the home hill of the Pioneers, and then they created the perfect storm to go up 2-0.
Wow, 2-0, and a quick 2-0. First round, 41 seconds. Second round, 53 seconds, Blaze. I mean, seriously, we're just over a minute of play time.
What are the
2 rounds
odds that
down.
eUnited is going to win every round in under a minute?
No shot. Absolutely no shot. Especially if a power weapon is placed. If a power weapon gets placed, it's going to at least naturally slow down the game. Speaking of which, Acells is going to place it. Bro, even if a power weapon wasn't placed, Blaze, no shot. KCP would at least win a couple rounds or fight back and go the distance.
Find out.
There's no way, because with the sniper being down where it's at now, it's going to naturally slow things down, as I said.
50 more seconds. We'll find out.
You're sneaking by. I respect it. I do. We'll find
Demise
out.
with a first blood, and that's two. Ooh, almost thought he got the wrap shot for the second. I did. But Demise still has hope. But he gets crossed out here towards the back end. I do think that is going to slow it down, unless Dyslexic can get a kill from one of these guys and spawn. A little Mr. Crab play. We're going to have a longer round in a minute for eUnited. But even off that, to start, with Dyslexic still being alive, he has drawn multiple people towards this side of the map, and eUnited, they just capped their opponent's home hill. They're flanking through the spawn. Player 2 won his fight. This is doable. But has it been a minute? It's like a minute 10. It's close.
Oh, it's been over a minute. It's been over a minute for sure, but the end result is still eUnited with the lead. And they're going to break 80 points. The round will continue on. I know you, Blaze, you're wanting it so badly.
I did.
If TJ would have hit that 2-piece off the start and maybe even got a third, that would have been the round for sure. And I would have been blown away, I'm going to be honest.
Almost, but no cigar. Now, snipes in the hand of KCP and the heads off of Demise. So the Pioneers get to rotate in, take over the B hill, and now they're going to cut back and focus on a home hill, slowly trying to pinch these last 3 players. They got a presence in the mid map and also in that bottom lane at their opponent's home hill. But in the actual main lane, it's eUnited winning some big fights. Dyslexic and Powerz goes huge, and Bronny's going to completely reposition and try not to go with this power weapon. But Dyslexic not going to let him get away.
Let him get away. Another domination attempt starting to come through, and this time it might tick through. No, not just yet. Acells will get a touch, but Pioneer's not able to really get anything going when it comes to this round, and this is basically the final attempt they have, and they've got to win on all ends of the map. 25 seconds. You got to be flawless. You got to be perfect. We do see KCP. They'll split up 2-2. 2 on top, 2 on bottom. Still doable, though. It absolutely is still doable. We've seen Pioneers pull off some crazy wins as a whole. If I'm Dyslexic, I'm just creating as much spacing as possible. I'm not getting overzealous. I'm not giving Pioneers an easy win. On A, however, there is a breakthrough, and Pioneers are pushing in. It's still doable. It's still doable. Woo!
Oh, my. Dyslexic almost comes away with a double. Like you said, it is still doable. Oh! Nah, Hndles. He don't got enough help. That's a triple cap for the win.
Wow. 250, 137, or at least one 250 score line. Man, but again, Pioneers made that exciting.
Pioneers getting a butts kicked.
Yes, sir. And again, this is something that has been just to focus in on that Rise matchup. Just to focus in on that Rise matchup. Rise, I'm out of my mind. Never mind. Not to focus on the Rise matchup. But wait, am I focused on the Rise matchup?
I don't know. Why?
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm focused on the Rise matchup.
Well, you just hold up a second.
All right. Well, while you hold up a second, that scoreboard.
Hey, Rise hasn't played eUnited.
Okay. Yeah, they haven't played them yet.
That's just too easy.
Yeah. Well, Powerz ain't died, and somebody ain't got a kill on the side of KCP.
Rob was about no. You do focus on the Rise matchup, the Rise versus Pioneers matchup. That's
Acells ain't got a kill.
I know. Hey, look,
Why are we talking about Rise versus Pioneers again?
Because Rise beat Pioneers 5-1. There's a reason. Gotcha. Rise beat Pioneers 5-1. I was just out of my mind when I was saying eUnited earlier. eUnited had nothing to do with the Rise matchup.
Okay, clean it up. Clean it up. You good?
Clean it up, man. We're clean, man.
We on the same page now?
I think so.
I think we are.
You tracking?
I'm with you. I think chat's with you too. Chat, if you with us, put a 1 in the chat.
Oh shoot, they're gonna put 2 though.
Thank you, but they might. And if you're not, put a 2. If you still don't follow us,
then they're gonna put a 3, man. We can't win with chat. Okay, we can't win with chat. I know eUnited though is looking pretty strong once again in this round, but a couple of trades on the neutral, fighting underway. My standing his ground. Dyslexic has just been on fire this series. I know we talked about Powerz, but Dyslexic, even in that last Ephyra, just tearing it up, was the stat leader. And this isn't going to be a domination, but it's going to put eUnited in a very comfortable spot, especially with this having a sniper.
Yeah, man. This Pioneers is getting pressed. They're in a chokehold right now. I ain't seen them like this in a long time. They look so average.
Did you see the Rise matchup? I'm just saying.
Was it on E-Days or was it Pro League?
Pro League. Hey, they lost 3-0 hot and heavy to Rise, bro.
Last week?
I think 2 weeks. Was it last week? I think it was last week. Yeah,
last week. I missed it. I was working.
You've been busy. You've been busy. I was working,
fair.
You know,
I did it.
No, Rise beat Pioneers 3-0.
I think I did peek into that one.
Yeah, Rise beat Pioneers 3-0, and on Vasgar is 1-5. Like, it wasn't even competitive.
You know, bro, my memory getting old, and you know, I watch a lot of series.
Age at the beginning. Right? We talked about the age at the beginning, Blazely. We get older, but the pros, they get younger and they stay the same. You know what I'm saying?
I still remember a whole series from Gears 1 from start to finish, okay? Like, really? I got a lot of maps in my mind.
Sheesh. Well, look at Pioneers. They got victory in their mind. They're going for a domination. The Powerz going to hit that shot on the Xysho and Acells, which will keep eUnited back with the one heal that they need. They do have the win condition, but Blaze, 83 seconds is a long time to hold on.
It's a very long time to hold on for. And eUnited, they're going to just have to find themselves another heal, and I'm pretty sure they're working very hard to do it as they get this down on Hndles. Still need to get a decap at B, but player one being TJ, knowing that he has to cut back and defend his home hill so he can prevent from the trip cap. His teammates slowed up this fight a bit to allow his squad mates to get in position, but TJ lost that battle, and now eUnited needs to press into the hill.
And they are, just a hair away. KCP nearly had the domination, but Demise hit Xysho and Acells with an absolute mansion. And that gives the hill back to eUnited, but not the win condition. Actually, it does, because C is being played with too. eUnited has put themselves with the win condition, once again forcing KCP to make their third potential miracle play.
And KCP, they're moving in. They're not getting the kills that they need, Taylor. This is eUnited's round.
I think it is. I think they're going to lead 4-0. Yeah, no shot. KCP, 3 down. Bronny last alive. He's only one man. He can't be at 2 places at once. And that is going to be 250 to 189. 4-0 lead for eUnited.
Woohoo! Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. All right, Acells got 2. Hndles got 2.
Powerz
Bronny is doing the best. Like, the core 3 of the squad is failing in all their fights. And so the sniper is down. They need to get in there and kind of win that tank engagement. But we'll see. Let's see what happens as we go into the next round. You will see the shock grenade get built up. So KCP got everything in which they need to work with. They're going to be on the swarm side of the map as well. They got that in their favor. But, you know, they still lost the entire first half. I haven't seen a reverse sweep in a long time.
Been a while.
It's been a while.
Since Gears 1, that one series that you remember in its entirety, man. That was the last reverse. I don't know if that's true or not. We'll be completely honest with you.
It's not.
Back then was only, well, it was wild. Hey, TJ hitting some nice shots. You mentioned Pioneers needed to win this tank fight, Blaze, but it's already off to a bit of a rocky start. But can they turn it around? Hndles killing Powerz is definitely a huge positive. Demise down. You're saying yep, but I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, they did a good job. They may have had some early downs come out for eUnited, but big plays being made by Hndles. And now they get 2 hills to their name. Player 7 will be able to rotate and get E. But as we see, Powerz is going to meet him for the 1v1. Xysho peeked at him and backed up and says, hey, play for 2, play for 2. That's the call out he gives to his team. Now player 6 is going to rotate back down. Nice smoke grenades from eUnited. They let the squad know that we don't got no angles. We can't help you. So the Pioneers, they group up together, moving in. Quick revive. That's a nice save from Bronny. Cuts back to help his other teammate out to get a save. And now they move in for the 3v1 and they get the kill. Great teamwork and decision-making coming out from the Pioneers. They're going to continue to hold 2. And they know this time around, they can get that decap at E. But I don't think that they can hold this home hill anymore unless they get a headshot from Bronny.
They have to back up, but that's okay. They'll play the long game. They're comfortable with that. They're confident in their defensive setup. Good body shot to at least pump the brakes a little bit for Powerz. Not going to push that tank after being body shotted with the snipers. So now you got to take your time, which gives some much needed points over to the Pioneers once again. eUnited trying to break out though in this 2-2. Player 1 drops off. This is an opportunity for KCP to hold on to the E hill. But Scrappy is dyslexic, man, and he continues to output a ton of damage. He's in a 1v3. Yo, he is outputting so much damage. Sadly, he can't get the pickup on TJ. He's going to have to go at it alone, but even though he dies there, that Lancer fire, dyslexic is always a factor, I swear.
Always a factor. Trip cap domination. Powerz with a flank, well timed. Gets 2, saves the squad, and he's going to take a beeline to the D hill. Now, on the flip end, it's going to be Hndles guarding this E hill. Has some help with them, but this hill is being threatened and getting decapped. That's going to force the players down the stairs. Taylor, Demise hitting some solid shots. He's going to be able to pick up 2, and eUnited in a great spot to steal this round.
A good spot, but they've got to micromanage a couple of things. Demise might have to stay on the E hill up top because he knows if eUnited does find success on this deep push, one guy from Pioneers is most likely going to be sprinting over towards E. But But he's going to do an even better job, actually, by pushing up for the respawns and focused on KCP. eUnited has to move in, and they have to move in now. Pioneers know this is the hill to win it all. Through the steps we go. Demise on the right side. He's going to manage to get it down, but he's going to get chunked. The hill is going to be touched. The decap is going to come through. No, but not in the nick of time. KCP will lock it in and get their first round on the board.
There they go. Okay, that's a 1. Now they have to go into the next round. Looking at performances, Hndles and Acells, they're picking up their kills slowly but surely. They're trying to lean in a lot on Xysho and Bronny. They're gonna have to make some good use of those power weapons with the sniper being on the map. Now the spawns are gonna flip in KCP. They're gonna have to play for the quick pick on a sniper this round. They will have a retro lancer to deal with, but luckily for them, I don't think that shot grenade is gonna get there in time to play a factor in the quick pick. So they'll be able to dodge that to start. Powerz did have the quickest spawn to it. We'll see if it makes it. The Acells, though, they're all going wide on KCP, so they're not even worried about the sniper to start.
The sniper will stay on the ground for the time being. eUnited going for the objective play. Dyslexic dancing around. You can't get on E at this point because Hndles is keeping you at bay. So Dis is going to go for the push. Hndles, utility in hand. Misses it. Dyslexic forced back. Dyslexic, though. No, you are actually still does he have utility? He does have utility, so he continue to push up here. Depending on how he plays it, Hndles closes the gap. Dis, though, reads him, takes him down. Powerz gets to pick up on the TJ, and eUnited will secure the 2-1.
And here's the trip cap. This forces the Pioneers to move forward into a difficult fight. It's up to Powerz to get a few more kills to stay alive. He gets taken out. It's Acells staying alive, and he's going to have Bronny with him below. Now, Bronny's getting pinched by 2 players, Taylor. Acells trying to alleviate some of that pressure. 1v1, he wins it. He knows that it's a player down below him, and he's going to hang out here for a bit. 2 players coming off the respawn. Acells, he lets the squad know that, hey, I'm backing up. Capture F. I know that we got E for free, so let's slow down a little bit and wait for the squad to come to.
Nice shot from Hndles, but it's not going to be enough to stop eUnited in their tracks. Good smoke. No marks have came through aside from, I believe, TJ, who's leading the charge. Everybody else unmarked, so they can continue to push through. But Hndles spotting one, spots the second up close, takes down Powerz. Well done. That's going to pin up the rest of the eUnited members just up above with nowhere really to go. Meanwhile, Pioneers are trying to take it all, the domination, and they're going to be very close to doing this. F is being played around with, and a domination will come through right in front of eUnited.
All right, so that's round 6 off the board. 3 more to go for the Pioneers. All right, this is a steep mountain. But they ain't found themselves in a position like this. Well, actually, they found themselves in a position like this last week, okay? But, you know, it's not an easy comeback. They're right again. They're once again back in that same hole, about to lose to lose to eUnited and find themselves down in the series, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to be down 2-1 going into control. So, doing a great job fighting back, and how they won that last round, they took it slow. They weren't too aggressive, playing into the typical play of going for that quick pick on snipe like we were predicting.
Right.
And they found kills towards the middle, and they created openings. And this round seems like it's going to be played out similarly by eUnited. And on the flip end, Pioneers show aggression. They get the first kill. Acells tucks himself in a corner, and he knows the rest of these members are running back. Demise almost gets down. F hill decap, and eUnited, they rotate through the middle to take down Hndles at the home hill. Xysho cuts back. Hndles says, don't worry, I got 1. I'm gonna need your assist. I don't. I got 2. I just wanted you to watch it.
And that's huge for Hndles to pick up that, because putting Xysho in a 1v1, even if he does win it, hey, he doesn't get value with the sniper because he dies like he just did. Demise ends up falling. KCP looking to lock this round up quickly. Player 8 sprinting as quickly as he can over towards E. Meanwhile, KCP will continue to push up because they know off the respawn, eUnited's going for their home hill. And it's unfortunate that KCP can't get the domination here, but it's fortunate that they have such a commanding presence on the map itself. eUnited are kind of pigeonholed on F, but they will break away 3 strong up to E, but Pioneers are going to readjust their numbers. And in fact, let me scratch that. Not a 3v3. It's going to be a 2v2 for E and a 2v2 for F.
Xysho whiffing today like he's kind of nervous.
He has been missing a lot, though.
Like he got some sweat on those thumbs. He don't feel too comfortable.
And that's why I went with the eUnited, brother, because I'm telling you, Xysho's not hitting shots like he normally does. Hndles has been a little bit off. Not necessarily in the series per se, but throughout Split 2.
Oh, but here's the pinch. Even with him being off, Pioneers has a lead in this moment. They push forward, they get some downs, but they won't get their opponent home hill back. This Lexus say, stay your ass out this hill. Let me holler at you for a
I
second,
can't believe he's doing this. Come on,
okay,
it's
F and I all
with
day.
the F and I. Okay.
Yeah, he reminded me of my pick. All right, sorry team.
How'd
Sorry,
it work out for
Sleeper.
you?
Sorry, Sleeper, for ever doubting you. Sorry,
Yes.
Crystallize. Sorry,
Yep.
Xavi and Problems. You guys made quick work of them.
Yes, sir. Rio.
Okay, but now that that's off my chest,
But you know what? Hey, Blaze, you always start off strong, but you finish weak, in predictions. And you just got
sometimes I just, some series I want to have a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
I
hope you
and
all
I
have
do.
fun.
I do. And looking at the fun I'm about to have as I break this down, because you
Okay.
see the 3-man rush towards the home hill. They get the decap at F. It's this Lexic who was able to get through. He found an opening in the middle to get to the home hill and keep the points close to being in favor of eUnited. That's a big 1v1 being won by TJ, but Dyslexic, if he gets one kill here, he puts eUnited in the best position to win. Doing a great job staying alive. Just staying alive as long as he can. Here comes help, and this is eUnited looking to lock this map up.
That's going to be at 5-2. eUnited will take the lead in the series 2-1. After an impressive performance, they took a 3-0 lead, and they really didn't back down from that point. So I got to say, man, I continue to be more and more impressed by eUnited the more the series goes along. But you know what? Series isn't done with. We still have Ritual Control coming up next. But as I said before, Blaze, when it comes down to the two strongest teams on Ritual Control, I put Pittsburgh Knights there and eUnited as well, neck and neck. So Pioneers put themselves in a tricky spot.
A very, very tricky spot. And so now, how do they plan on overcoming this one? Well, you take a look at this last escalation map, and eUnited, the first 2 rounds were very, very dominant.
Very dominant.
And then in rounds 3 and 4, they edged them out a bit. Okay, they started off slow, but they won big battles and they were able to close it out and completely dominate the whole first half.
Right.
Now you see the Pioneers coming back into this map, finding some success, playing around a sniper, hitting some big individual plays, but ultimately they found themselves too deep in a hole. So going into this map number 4, Control Ritual, they got to get off to a better start. And if they can get off to, they can get themselves off to a nice little lead. They can out rotate eUnited, play for those kills, and get the map, but if they find themselves down with them being where they currently are, I just think eUnited they're playing really hot and really confident.
Yep. I mean, Dyslexic is the epitome of confidence. Are you kidding me? Like, I know Powerz is, doing very well statistically, but Dyslexic is pushing fights like a madman. And I like to see that, I really do, because it brings me back to when Dyslexic was on the rise. He was on the come up, and we were constantly saying his name anytime F and I had a chance to play, or even back in the day Carnage Gaming, because he was playing so well. Dyslexic was such a powerful player, and this roster allows him to be able to go back to his roots, go back to that aggressive play style. I mean, even beating down a player in that final round. Granted, is it smart to do? I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with you, because you're putting yourself at risk, especially if you lose the round. But hey, again, Dyslexic is just feeling himself. He's feeling confident. The fact that Powerz in the first 3 rounds didn't die once, or only died once in 3 rounds, it is really impressive. In fact, you look at Powerz stats, he finished off 15-9, so he did taper off quite a bit. Things evened up a little bit, but regardless though, even damage done across the board, eUnited, they got more damage done, they got more kills, they just outperformed KCP.
Yeah, they did. They did. And so the Pioneers, and that's after coming off that execution loss too. So the Pioneers came in here giving it everything in which they got, and they just got their butts kicked. And now they got to go up in on this Ritual Control, where eUnited is looking to end this series for the day in a 3-1 fashion. eUnited is not even trying to go over to checkout.
No.
So I'm excited to see how they're going to do that and take down the Pioneers.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to eUnited on Ritual. They're a fantastic team there. I put PK up there with them. I would actually maybe even put eUnited as a better Ritual team, only because Powerz is so influential on that very map. We were talking about it during, I believe, Pittsburgh Knights versus Rebel, and just how good Monkeys or Raver was on getting on that flank and how much of an impact that they have. And we saw that so many times, Blaze. Powerz is so impactful on that flank, and he's going to punish you. If you don't keep him in check, he's going to punish you. And I even go back to Grand Finals of E-Days last week. Mind you, after eUnited had already beat Pioneers in that Game 5 that went down to Ephyra at round 11, when they played against Pittsburgh Knights on Ritual, PK was at 298 for a solid minute, 2 minutes. Powerz made the incredible play in order for eUnited to win. Powerz is so good on this map that if you don't keep him in check, and you even said at the beginning of the show, Blaze, or at the beginning of the series, you got to isolate him sometimes and you just got to kill him, but that even opens up an opportunity for TJ and co. So it's not easy to shut this guy down in Ritual.
It's not, and when he is the center of attention, all the eUnited fans are happy. They get to have a show. His teammates are happy as well because they get openings, and so he's been doing that very well. And as he is currently on the center of your screen next to TJ, he goes for that quick bow pickup. Now TJ blocked him a little bit, only because he was assuming that he may need a revive, but Powerz actually had a clean out with that. It's gonna be KCP picking up the kills and getting some of this early time, unless, I was going to say Dyslexic goes off, but he's going to go to the respawn.
Yeah, well done from KCP to be able to take that first hill, establish themselves early on. You need to see things like that. It's only hill number 1. We still have a long way to go, but that first team fight going their way, and I like that because you lose in a dominant fashion, 5-2 on Vasgar. It's nice to see that first team fight go to the way of the team that ended up losing. That bit of a trade from TJ does get a kill onto Bronny, though. So now it's going to be a 3v3 for the last 36 seconds.
And you see Powerz able to get a little support in, but Demise, he's able to find Ree in that hill with the help of his teammates, and they're going to clean up on the rest of that time. It's Bronny going back towards the respawn. He's pinched from multiple angles. Yeah, he's crossed out. Wasn't able to slow down eUnited enough for his team to get into a better position, but they're in a good one. They're inside the hill, still fighting out wide, but with that kill coming through from TJ, he's going to have the angle on the rest of these Pioneers members to push him back towards middle.
And Dyslexic, he's going to push himself into Hndles, and this is going to be a big kill because now that opens up the middle lane. Speaking of which, it's interesting, Pioneers are actually going up top once again, and they're going to attack from that top side. This gives an opportunity for eUnited to get the first initial points, but also see exactly where Pioneers are going for, and maybe even funnel them in, triangulate them, and put them in the fatal funnel. That is the reality, but we do see a breakout 2-2. We're going to have TJ and Powerz opposite of Xysho as well as Bronny. Bronny is finally going to be pushing in. These first initial kills are going to matter. Bring it to a 2v1. You just got to get one of them. We do see a couple of drops. TJ, though, is able to get the pickup plus the kill onto Bronny. Now you can focus on Xysho up ahead. Dyslexic already has that locked in. Acells, though, is pushing into the hill, but can't make anything happen. And it looks like KCP might be losing 3 to 4 members here. Hndles gone. Bronny now by himself on the opposite end. Now, the benefit is he is going to get that torque bow, but eUnited are going to get the bulk of the points.
Yeah, they will get the bulk of it. At least that's what we think. eUnited finally back into the hill. Pioneers approaching from this top side of the map once again. We'll see if they can win the fight this time with the bow in hand. Four in a chamber. This is that one. It's Xysho finding kill, so that puts the Pioneers in a great spot. But here comes Hndles. Can he save his teammate? Acells on the ground, isn't able to be saved, but now Hndles has to make a play off the damage in which he put out, and he gets a kill, but his teammates, they lose their battle. But look at the time, it's scrap. It's 10 to 11 seconds, and it's the Pioneers already rotating for next.
Yeah, they
now player 1 and 4, they stop. They don't go towards the spawn. Acells actually says, you know what, hold on, let me go back here just a little bit more. You realize that's as deep as he can go.
This is a hill where Pioneers can capitalize and close the gap tremendously against eUnited. This is one of those hills that we know is historically very difficult to break. I do find it curious that eUnited, in the way that they're going for the break on the lower end, typically you'll see them from the top section, right, and go for the break where player 8 Demise ended up dying. But for eUnited to attack the low side, it doesn't necessarily make it any easier, but it's an angle that isn't as common per se, which might give them the leg up. They do push back KCP. KCP are really bunched up at the moment, so this could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how it ends up unfolding. Good thing in form of trades, but a bad thing in form of you have one guy just go out there and start popping off. Powerz holding the line, backs up. He doesn't want to get too close to Pioneers. He knows he's going to get chunked if that's going to be the case. Demise in a very, very serious spot. He needs to take down Bronny. By doing so, Pioneers know nobody's going to be on that flank. So either way, Pioneers can take their time, or excuse me, eUnited can take their time as long as that 1v1 is stalemated up top.
Oh, here comes Hndles. He actually able to pick up 1 kill. They couldn't find a second. He's finally taken out. And it's eUnited continuing to collect on this time. Absolutely dominant so far across the first 3 hills, Taylor. And no one's going to be able to contest for that 17. They don't want to. It's going to come down towards a fight for the middle hill. Hndles and Xysho. Well, Xysho's able to pick up the nades down low. Acells helps his teammate with that single kill up top, but he's going to get back to his team. Has a lancer, well, has an angle with his bow. No splash damage. He has to connect with this next one. He will.
He will. Nice job. Oh, goes for the second. Just whipping on TJ a little bit. TJ pushing up. Takes down Xysho, going for the 2-piece. He actually will die off in the meantime. Great Lancer fire. Bronny and Acells in a terrible spot. A terrible spot because they are getting funneled in. And great job from eUnited to be able to isolate those players, Lancer them down, and gain the competitive edge on the hill with 60 seconds remaining. I mean, the rich get richer. It seems Pioneers being at 32 points is pretty crazy to see. It's almost literally flipped, right, from the Regency. Remember when eUnited was at 30 points on Regency? Well, now it's the opposite effect. Obviously, Pioneers on the receiving end.
Yeah, now the Pioneers are getting destroyed in this series currently, and I haven't seen them get beat up this bad in a long time, especially across, you know, with us being in 4 maps. We're on a 4th map. Usually their performance doesn't falter this much, but it seems like they have found their kryptonite with eUnited. As you see Demise on the flank behind Xysho, a nice shot, misses the second, connects on the third. He's back to help the rest of the squad in their engagements, but his flank was a little bit too sloppy for the fight to be won by the team. And the rest of this time goes on over towards the Pioneers and eUnited. They're playing for next and for bow.
Play for next, playing for bow, playing for everything. The United gets that torque bow. It's going to be huge for them in general, and we do see Pioneers trying to keep them at bay. But eUnited continues to push up. Xysho and Acells have a big task ahead of them to hold on to what they currently have. And Bronny too. If Bronny can kill TJ here, backpack the torque bow. That's massive, and he does. Well done. Even though Bronny loses his life there, and you still have a refresh of 1 additional player pushing the hill, getting that torque bow and also having your teammates inside the hill is massive for the Pioneers.
They needed a big win like that. Now they need at least 1 more in this next team fight. If they can break that 100-point marker, they have all the confidence in the world, knowing that this map isn't far out of reach. And I don't even think they feel like it's out of reach at this point. They just know that they got a lot of work to do. So now that a few of these fights are, I was going to say, finally start going their way in a better spot, but they get wiped. And that's a great flank coming in from eUnited at the bottom portion of the map to get wide, and they'll be able to break this 200-point marker off the rest of the time left in the hill.
Yeah, 200 to 74 Blaze. That is not looking good at all. Demise, nade in hand. One's going to be sent flying, and second one is going to go. Acells is going to die off early on. Very surprised Bronny didn't die, but Bronny has to push forward to get value from his life. Xysho is already dead. Bronny, he's going to get ganged on. 3 members ended up attacking him and taking him down. You said it. eUnited, by the time this hill is done, will be over 200. They're all past that at the moment.
And so eUnited still pressed up forward a bit, getting ready for next. They know that they want to push in from this I like to call it skull, where P3 usually is, but they want to push in from the top portion of the map. They got to win these fights against Acells and Hndles, and it's going to be up to Powerz and Demise to try to get that one done. And Powerz is trying to get some shots in across the map to help his teammates, and it's actually going to be TJ who says, I can make a play off of that. Demise moves in, gets into his 1v1. Him and Powerz win their engagement, and eUnited gets exactly what they want. And here comes that Lancer cross from the other side of the map, and they'll win the fight.
Win the fight. eUnited will continue to garner points closer to the 300-point mark. Time is running thin for the Pioneers. Bronny getting the torque bow, though, is a big positive, but he is being hunted down, and he needs to be aware of that. Onto his flank is going to be TJ. TJ, once he moves through, Bronny needs to be ready, but speaking of which, eUnited is just pushing in so confidently. Great shot up close on the Dyslexic, but that'll only be a band-aid to a gushing wound. Torque bow is going to be missed. Bronny's going to give it up. Powerz inside the hill. eUnited should be at 250, or at least close to it, by the time this hill is finished.
Now, that new bow was picked up by Powerz. Oof, Dyslexic getting pressed. That was a great shot from him. Demise saying that he can work with that. Flash a little bit too deep. Well, it was perfect to stun Hndles, but he has no other help around him. And as I say that, TJ moves forward, gets one. They're both going to be down. Powerz last left alive for eUnited. He'll leave the hill, start moving towards next. And you're going to see a little bit of a split spawn from everybody, but Powerz knows that it's a player behind him. He's going to turn this into a 1v1 battle. Now, he brings these two bow shots out of the fight, and I think he really needs this at the hill. If he can win this 1v1 with just a shotgun, and both players are going to walk it out, no one's going to know that they're there. But with Dyslexic coming towards this side of the map, they will see them in a corner. And they truly do spread this map out, Taylor.
Yeah, they do. They do. And that's not a bad thing either. But
I think it's a little bit too much.
You think so?
Well, not really. Where they are, they're looking for these kills, and they got these players out here towards the outskirts, and Pioneers are getting points now. eUnited finally going to be able to move in. I just think with the bows in which they had, they could have contested the hill. Would have been a scrappier fight. But with that being said, eUnited, they still got the lead, and they're winning their battles currently.
And 30 seconds too on this hill alone. We do see Pioneers, stragglers, making a little bit of a dent, keeping the hill contested for a couple of seconds, but it's just simply not enough. eUnited dangerously close to 300, plus the torque on Demise's hands. You got to be a little bit worried for that. Demise will go ahead and just get up a little bit more in points for eUnited. We're coming down to potentially the final hill, and that's a beautiful line of sight that EU has, especially with Demise. And he's just going to lay down any cover fire that he possibly can. We're potentially looking at the last team fight, Blaze.
Here comes eUnited. Looking to fight for these spawns. It's going to be a 2v2. It's up to Xysho and Bronny to win this. Demise has two bows left. He's going to rev up on one. eUnited wins two big battles. They got this, Taylor.
I think they got
this.
300 to 130. Is that going to be the fight? Yeah. Yes, sir. That's going to be it. And eUnited will get the victory over the Pioneers and dethrone Pittsburgh Knights, who are holding on the first for all 3 weeks. But now that has come to an end. Incredible performance, and they did so in style, Blaze. eUnited's been on a tear, winning last Thursday E-Days and winning a big battle against the Pioneers tonight. Second time they beat the Pioneers in 2 days, or at least in 2 competitive days in back-to-back weeks. Incredible job, seriously. eUnited, I'm telling you, are looking like a championship caliber roster.
Yeah, man, they truly are. Okay, shout out to the whole coaching staff, and shout out to the players as well. They have been getting better week in and week out, and I want to see them continue to build off of this. That's a back-to-back win against the Pioneers, who was given everything in which they had to take down this eUnited roster. They don't want them to have that much momentum, so Pioneers got a lot to work on. And the thing is that eUnited will continue to still get better, so it's a lot of catching up to do for the Pioneers. And yeah, eUnited, they're the top dogs, and
wow,
I can't wait to see their next matchup.
Everybody from KCP in that last map on Ritual went negative. The only person closest to not going negative was Bronny. He went 11 and 16. Aside from that, there's no comparison. You look at eUnited, the only guy to go negative is Dyslexic. He went 10 and 11. Aside from that, everybody went positive, and Powerz had the best performance yet, going 19 and 3. So from that Vasgar performance to this performance, Powerz was getting maximum value for each of his lives.
Maximum value, okay? Yeah, and that's the superpower. Yeah, every respawn, you're gonna get the best out of him, and that's saying something, okay? That's a lot to deal with. eUnited, they were very disciplined in this series, and I'm happy to see it. Even with them losing that first map, they stayed composed in that execution for map number 2, and then they dominated map number 3 and didn't allow that lead to get too out of hand, okay? Because I've seen those guys both leads before, but they said not today. And they came out of map number 4 and they had another dominant performance. eUnited, man, you're the team to beat.
Are the team to beat indeed, man. And you know what's crazy about that? I'm going to go back to something you said at the beginning. I think when we were doing our predictions, and you said eUnited is a team that you don't even feel has reached their skill ceiling yet. Do you stand behind that? Do you think this EU roster can continue to get better?
Hell yeah. We got like 2 weeks to go, okay? Yeah. You know, Rubik's got the whip to him.
That's scary. You stand behind that, bro, because look at what we just witnessed, and look what we continue to witness in all of their series. And then you're saying we haven't even seen the full potential.
No, we most definitely haven't. I could tell you that. You know, this was a good win here for eUnited, but I think they can make it cleaner.
I think they could. I do. Again, Ritual is a map they have unlocked. Pittsburgh Knights, close second when it comes to that map, but they've even beat Pittsburgh Knights on Ritual, their favorite control. Regency needs work, though. That is a fact. Regency absolutely needs work. Losing 300 to 188, that's just simply not going to do. If I'm playing against eUnited for control, I'm picking Regency. We have a lot of talented rosters who play Regency very well, so eUnited's going to have to prove on that map. Vasgar looks to be a lock, at least at this point. And the same narrative for KCP. They need to improve on Vasgar. Escalation has not hit the same since Precision left.
It has not, okay? And you're starting to see the big plays that he used to make, or even just the discipline that he had playing his role, just blocking off lanes, being a threat, and knowing when to turn up. Like, you know, he did a lot of things the right way. And so you're missing that slaying power, because when the rest of the squad was having a bad day, it's like he rolls up to that Super Slayer form that we knew him as, that, you know, he was kind of taken back from because you had other superstars on the team, you know? Some seasons Acells pop off, other seasons Xysho your MVP, and Precision just chilling back, you know, collecting dubs.
Seriously, I mean, that's just the way it is, you know? I mean, it's tough, though. Bronny is such a talented player. They started off with the picture-perfect week. They won both of their Pro League matchups. They won E-Days. They kept the dream alive. But ever since, they've been taking a lot of big hits. And I want to stand by what I said at the beginning. KCP is still a championship caliber roster, but so is Rise, so is Pittsburgh Knights, definitely so is eUnited, and that's the thing about the competition as it is now. There's not as big of a gap from 1 down to 2 like there was in the previous split when that KCP roster still had Precision on it, right? There was just literally no one could touch them. Maybe in Pro League, but Major time, no comparison. But now KCP is just going to have to work extra hard if they still want to be champions.
Extra hard indeed, okay? And so Xysho got some work to, no, sorry, not Xysho. He got some work to do, but I was going to say Jackal got some work to do with the boys over there as well. So he got a lot of VOD to watch over with him. And yeah, we'll see how Pioneers, now with them being challenged, I want to see how they take this and improve on it.
Yeah, I mean, Jackal's solid, though. Jackal, I'm sure, is going to get them up to where they need to be, and I think KCP is going to be just fine, but they're just struggling a little bit right now, and that's just the way it currently is. Hey, but we're getting down to the tail end of the day, and you know what that means. It's time for our eSwapX Pro Controller Play of the Day, and it's going to be given to my main man, Chavi, with his beautiful play on tune. Blaze, break it down.
All right, Chavi. He gets one and he gets two to kick off the round, but the snipe in his back pocket, assisting with the body shot, moves in with Crystallize, and he lets Rapid know, like, relax, get off me. All right, it's pretty much my ace for the round.
And you know what? He almost got it too. That body shot on solo was finished by Crystallize, and obviously he gets Rapids in the end. That was a 3-piece. That could have very well been an ace. But Chavi popped off, and I got to give credit to Team Xysho. They popped off against Fire and Ice, and that man Chavi was a big reason as to why that was the case. Clearly, he's feeling confident. He's feeling at home, and he even gave him the hopscotch to Rapids at the end. That was your eSwapX Pro Controller Play of the Day. Chavi, you earned it, brother.
Yeah, he definitely did, and I want to see him put some more plays in just like that throughout the rest of the weeks and going into the major.
Absolutely the case. It's been an incredible day, Blaze. We had some good series. We really did. Eye-opening series. And I got to say, man, I was happy to cast with you for the first time in a long time, brother.
Well, and I think you give me back-to-back. So, you know, we got 2 days. And so now we got E-Days coming up tomorrow.
That's right. We got E-Days coming up tomorrow. But before then, let's at first look at our results for today. We saw what happened on main stage, right? We saw those 3 matches that ended up going down, but I was curious. There it is. Hyde ended up getting a 3-0 against Discipline. Tough break for Discipline, Blaze. Yet to get a win.
Yeah, yet to get a win. And I don't know if it's going to be difficult for them. This is the league for the big boys. And, you know, they made it in, and they're getting some reps against the best, but, you know, we'll see if they can match the pace of everybody else. But outside of that one, eUnited, they come out on top. Rebel came out on top. And then Team Xysho made quick work of Fire and Ice.
Quick work of Fire Knight's team. Xysho looking scary. We'll see how well they're going to do come major time. Let's take a look at the standings. This is where I really wanted to hone in and focus on. We knew Pittsburgh Knights were going to drop, but not that much, my lord. They were in first place because they were undefeated, but once they finally lose, Blaze, that map win percentage will drop them down to 4th place. eUnited going up to 1st, and then Rise and Rebel following suit in 2nd and 3rd, but still, you got 3 teams from 2nd to 4th, all deadlocked 4-1. Then you got Pioneers, who's 4-2. And then it's fair to say we definitely get our biggest drop off, since the Pioneers, obviously from 6 to 10. That's where things get a little crazy.
Yeah, that is where things get a little crazy indeed. 6 to 10. It's honestly anybody's game. With us having another week or so left of the league, those guys got to win some big matches down there to, most importantly, avoid relegation. So Fire Knights, I'm looking at y'all to, go win some big matchups against, Fury, Hive, and Xysho. Now, at the top end of that board, eUnited, they sitting comfortable, and they're the kings of the league right now. I can't wait for that matchup against Rise.
That's going to be a great matchup, man. That's going to be a great matchup. I'm trying to rack my brain if I've seen them play in E-Days, but I don't think Rise has played them in E-Days. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a snapshot before they do, but that Pro League match is going to be incredible. They only get to play once, right? At least officially in Pro League before they head into Major, but those are the 2 top dogs, and I'm looking to see perform incredibly well. Blaze, let's take a look at our schedule for next week. We're going to have a lot of incredible matches as we start to near the end. We'll be starting off with Hive versus Pittsburgh Knights. That's going to be an incredible one. Tony continues to get better. Gary really impressed me with the snipes last week, brother. Pioneers versus Fire and Ice. eUnited versus Team Xysho. Rise versus Discipline. And Rebel versus Fury 1. Blaze, anyone stand out to you?
Rebel and Fury 1.
Yep.
That one.
Sure.
That one stands out when I look at this list, and Team Xysho and eUnited would be a fun one to watch as well.
Yeah, definitely so. A lot of good matches. Let us know in chat what you think are your best matches. That's how we're going to be starting off the month of February, and we hope that you're going to join us back next Tuesday. Of course, 5 Eastern time here on the Xbox channel. Hit the follow button if you haven't already. Blaze, you said it. We got back-to-back days tomorrow. Emergence days. We're going to be coming back at you, I believe, with week 3 for Split 2. Yep. The points are still accumulating. We're getting closer to Split 2 finals. Last time it was 1 from KCP. We'll see if they can replicate that, but EU won last week, so things are starting to heat up over there. That's going to be on the UMG Gaming channel on Twitch. We would love to have you. Same start time as Pro League, 5 Eastern. It's going to be a good day. You'll have me and Blaze once again. So Blaze, all good things must come to an end, brother. What are your final words before we get out of here?
I hope everybody have a fantastic night, and we'll see you tomorrow for E-Days.
Hey, see you tomorrow for E-Days. For myself, Taylor Reflections, Noble Guy, Blaze, our production team, and you in chat, thank you so much for being here once again. Be back tomorrow, 5 Eastern, twitch.tv/UMG Gaming. We would love to have you. Until then, you all have a great night and be safe.